Hey, what's up, y'all? Mock here again. Y'all know how I do cookbooks, bring information, but I want to talk about some more practical stuff, like everyday current affairs, not evolution, not history, not science. I just want to talk about right now in the real world, 2019, real world stuff. So my last video, I talked about burning bridges. And I want to kind of expound on that and why it's so important to burn bridges. I told you guys about Sun Tzu, the other war, burn the bridge so the soldiers will fight like hell. When the battle is at its hottest point, they won't run back because there'll be no bridge to turn back to. So sometimes in life, you know, quantum physics, if you study quantum physics, it says that light is both a wave and a particle. What determines whether light is a wave or a particle is the eye of the beholder, the observing. Okay, that's what the Copenhagen experiment, they found that out. That light is both a wave and light behaves as both a wave and a particle. It has both natures. It's called wave-particle duality. But what determines what you see is based off you. That's a science. So what that means is, me, I see the world as a battlefield. So for me, that's what I'm gonna always see that, because that's the way the Most High designed my spirit. That's the third eye. The Most High allowed my third eye, my pineal gland, to see that. Not everybody sees that. Some people don't see the world like that, and that's fine, because again, it's quantum physics. What they see, it's general relativity, or not general, but relativity. Einstein relativity. It's frames of reference. So a person frame of reference will allow them to see two different things, even though they might be looking at the same thing. Me, I look at the world as a battlefield. I'm not wrong and you're not wrong. I'm not wrong and you're not right. You're not right and I'm not wrong. It's in the eyes of the beholder. So because I see the world as a battlefield, I believe, like Sun Tzu, the Art of War, tells you, you got to burn bridges, folks. You got to burn the hell out of them, gaslight them, burn them. Burn bridges, burn, motherfucker, burn them down. Understand? Throw 2 bottles, 2 gallons, 3, 4, 5 gallons, and burn them to the ground. Because here's the facts. If those bridges are leading you to headache, heartaches, stress, burn them. If those bridges are leading you to nowhere, burn them. If those bridges are stalemate, they trying to just, those are bridges that try to hold you stagnant, stagnation, and not progress, burn them. Burn them. I don't care. The word inveterated, I mentioned it before, means long-standing relationships established over years and years and years of interaction. So if a lot of us, I'm 40 years old, so a lot of us, if we're older, we might have 20, 15, 30-year relationships. So we feel beholden to those relationships. We're bonded. We're so inveterated in those relationships, it's very difficult to see us or to see that person for what they have become. We still see them as they are when they were 10, when they were 12, 13, 14, 15. But we don't, so it's very difficult for us to see them for what they have become. Because see, people, here's the thing. Transmutation, I'm not trying to go into science because I want to keep it on real world facts, but transmutation, I talked about that in some of my other videos, okay? How transmutation occurs, okay? Cellular cells transmutation, alchemy transmutation, changing. And the interesting thing is, your 10-year-old friend or your 15-year-old friend is not going to be the same 30-year-old associate, counterpart, friend, whatever adjective you want to use, because people transmute over the years, and some people transmute for the better, others transmute for the worse. We call it evolution. Some people evolve to a higher state, others devolve or just stagnate. People stagnate. And when I say stagnate, I mean the brain doesn't fully reach the top floor, if you get what I'm saying. The elevator's stuck on the 3rd or the 4th floor. You've evolved to the 10th, to 20th stories. They're still stuck on the 5th, 6th, 7th floor. Not everyone evolves or transmute at the same pace. So though you and I might be chronologically the same age, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, evolutionary, you're not the same age. We might be chronologically the same age, but we are not psychologically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and any otherwise at the same state. In terms of the evolutionary scale, we're not at the same state. So people, you got to understand, some bridges are there in your life as a hold you backer, if that makes any sense. Hold you back. Or there are the you shoulda bridges. I call them you shoulda bridges. These are bridges that tell you you shoulda did this, you shoulda did that, you shoulda did this, shoulda did that. You got to burn these bridges. You got to get rid of these bridges. There's the concept reminding you of what you used to be bridges. I call those you used to be this bridges. So they will never, ever, ever, ever allow you to evolve and to become who you're supposed to be, folks. They will never, ever let you spread your wings and fly, folks. Because they're going to constantly be the bridge to remind you what you used to be. Now, if you're a person who's serious about your evolution, if you're a person who's serious about your aspirations, ambitions, and determinations, you're going to be holding tight to every single word I'm saying right now. Because that's something you need to get into your psyche. That you got to understand that inveterate relationships are very difficult to break, those bonds, because the heartstrings are pulling at you. The emotions are pulling at you. But the word emotions is just, E means, the E in emotions, anagrams. Anagrams mean you move letters around to kind of like get meanings from different words or whatever. So if you move the E, if you separate the E from the word motion, the E means energy. In emotion, the E means energy. And then you have motion. So emotions are just energy that is in motion. So when you're emotionally tied to someone, that energy in that word is motioning you to stay tied to that person. But you got to see, this is fifth dimensional thinking here, folks. This is not 3 or 4 dimensional space-time continuum. This is fifth dimensional thinking. You got to get outside of that limited or mitigated or narrow or secular or regular or natural way of thinking and get into that fifth dimensional way of thinking. And understand that you're emotionally tied to that person. Is that emotion that ties you to that person is an energy that bonds you. That's bondage. So you could be bondage to a bridge. You shoulda, coulda, woulda bridge. Or you could be bonded. You could be bondage to that you used to be this bridge. These bridges need to be burnt, folks. You got to burn them down. Burn them, annihilate them, destroy them. You know, it's interesting when you study history, when the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Goths, the Vandals, you know, all these different barbarians, primitive barbaric men who would pillage villages, they would destroy everything in the village. They wouldn't leave any, and if they took over a village or not just a village, but if they took over a kingdom that had a previous king, they would destroy everything that previous king had established. Whether it's whatever it's an institution, a statue, monument, anything that they had that remind them of that king, they would completely destroy it, annihilate it. Folks, you got to annihilate everything that can be a bridge to those people having access to you. Not everyone should have access to you. I'm telling you. We live in a world today where this technology that I'm using, social media, has allowed us to forget that there is something called privacy. There is something called individualism. They now created the so-called collective world because we are all one by means of network on social media. Now, I use it, I'm here now, so I'm a victim of it too. Okay, it's my ecology though. I'm a species in an ecology. Your ecology is, for a fish, the ecology will be the ocean. For a tiger and lion, the ecology will be all the happenings and trappings of the jungle. For you and I, our ecology is all that is capitalism. It's everything that we use, all of our resources. So I take part in my society, in my ecological system. I get that. But I'm also aware that this technology is being used to nullify or to stupefy us from understanding that not everyone is supposed to have access to you. Not everyone is supposed to be able to reach you. The world is, that's why God in the Bible destroyed the Tower of Babel. Because they all came together collectively and said, let's build a tower and go to heaven. Let's go and we'll be, you know, we'll remove God. We'll go to the heavens. We'll all be one. We'll speak one language, one tongue. God destroyed that, and that's where the different languages came from. But there's a reason for that. Because if you look at a tree, people peep this. This is wisdom from nature. When a tree starts out, it's one seed. That's all it is. The biggest oak, the biggest tree you could think of. The biggest tree you could think of out there with the biggest branches. When it started out, it was one unit. And as it grew still as one unit. And as it continued to grow and grow and grow and grow, eventually it branched off people. It split up people, and the tree goes, every branch goes its separate ways, people. And this is true throughout all nature. If you look at all trees, they eventually split. Some split more than others, but they eventually branch off and go their own separate directions. Folks, that's life. Not everybody's supposed to stay with you forever. You old dudes, old niggas who living with your mama, get out your mama's house. Branch off. Go out there and face the real world. I know it's scary. Grow balls. Go out there and do it. So, the moral of all of this, though, is shit, ain't no moral. Just burn bridges. That's it. Burn bridges. Burn them. Burn them down to the ground. Don't look back, folks. Sun Tzu, burn the bridge so that when the battle gets tough, you won't be tempted to turn back. And I believe that. I do that. I burn bridges. Because at the end of the day, sink or swim, Marlon. That's my motto. I'm going to sink or I'm going to swim. But at the end of the day, I'm going to do it on my own terms, on my own merit. So whether I win, lose, fail, it's my fault. And I can live with that. I'm fine with that. Burn bridges, folks. Burn them and burn them to the ground. 2019 motto. Burn bridges, burn, baby, burn. Burn them. I'm talking about burn them to the ground. Gaslight them. Be confrontational. Turn around and face them and just tell them. You know what I mean? Get them out of here. Burn them. Till next time. I'm going to be burning some bridges. Let me go burn some bridges right now.